A quick email that you want to read, because I had said we cannot get the Congresswoman to come on. And I do enjoy when people defend someone for not coming on, saying, well, I wouldn't come on either, because yet if somebody else that they don't like doesn't come on, they're like, what, are you afraid of having to answer the questions? We are so divided today that we defend with such hypocrisy. It's mind-blowing. But go ahead. Hit me with your best shot, Jeff.
All right, here's the email.
Okay.
Why would Tenny want to contact fake news? Just like CNN, no reason to, gentlemen. Your station, and Bill are too far left. It's TOO, far left, it should be. And it's a joke. I'm not a supporter of her at all, but respect why she chooses not to speak to fake news. Just like Nobles is a joke, CNN is a crime like Dems.
All right.
You, as I said to you off the air, don't need me to defend you.
I do not.
But Rush Limbaugh does. To say this station is so far left.
Kilmeade is far. Although I got to tell you, Kilmeade is far more to the center.
Yeah.
I listen every day, and he is far more to the center than.
He is way.
And on guns,
all in for Roy Moore out.
On guns, I got to tell you, he's even. I feel he's
New
far
York City,
left than
New York City.
Yeah, he's from Long Island.
It's a New York City take on guns. Yeah.
So, but between Kilmeade, Rush,
and then Hannity,
Larry Elder, and Jimbo Hannon, we are a liberal network. So, in honor of being a liberal network, we'll send this away. We'll give this to a listener, one of our liberal listeners. I got this as being an affiliate of Premier and Rush Limbaugh, EIB Network. They should change it to LIB Network, Liberals in Broadcasting. A Rush Limbaugh Tumblr,
Our
their best one
Tumblr yet.
Pick a number or however you want to do it.
Maybe call it 3 because I want to leave room for the people to call in. So call it 3, Davey. There we go.
You get the liberal Rush Limbaugh Tumblr.
We're in. Anthony Brindisi is in, and what I have said, and I stand by. This is not a liberal conservative. It's not a pro Anthony, a pro or an anti Claudia thing. It's just when we call you, you come in, and I feel that I've had you in studio and we've hammered you before in some very uncomfortable situations, and you're taking phone calls. And none of these people calling in, people who are all in, don't call in. People who are against and take exception to what you say, they're the ones that call in, and you're willing to take these calls. And for that, I appreciate it. And we, as constituents, should appreciate the opportunity, in this case speaking to our assemblyman, but potentially down the road, our congressman. You got to be able to take the heat.
You got to take the heat. That's something that I've always tried to do as an elected official, whether it's appearing in person at town halls, going on radio shows, going on news programs, being in the grocery store and getting questions. I don't mind. It's something that I've always done and I will always continue to do. And I think it's something that is every elected official should do. You're there and good. That's why I've been critical of the governor in the past. You know, we've had our problems. And, you know, I've been offended by the fact he hasn't come here when we've been at our lowest points, because to me, when you're a leader or you're in an elected position, you come in good times when you want to cut the ribbon and do all the glad handing, but you're also there in bad times, and you're there to talk about your position so people know where you stand and they can vent their frustrations, they can ask you questions, and you can give your responses. And I think a lot of people respect that, and we need more of that in politics instead of people running from their constituents.
315-736-0186. I have one I want to hit you with, which I've said on the air, not to you directly, but I'm going to say to you directly coming up. First, so Bob in Boonville, if you want to get in, ask a question, give a comment to the assemblyman, the congressional candidate, 315-736-0186. Bob, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Bob.
I appreciate y'all coming on and talking to us. I just want to take a good look at your study because I have a little problem with it. I think the numbers probably represent people that get the earned income credit, and these are people that don't pay taxes to begin with. So not only do they get all their money back, they probably get a big, hefty cash allotment from the government. When that say $6,000 or $8,000 allotment goes down, I think your study is calling that a tax increase, and I think your study's flawed. And I would also like to take a look at the studies that you're quoting from these specialists. These people all have million-dollar buildings down on K Street in Washington. They're all lobbyists. You're talking about the Home Builders Association. You're talking about the AARP. You're talking special interest groups that need big government. And these are the people who you're quoting. And I think that's why you're not looking at the reality. A $24,000 tax level where you don't pay any taxes is going to help 80% of the constituents in this area, the middle-class people. And I'll hang up now, and I'll let you say what you got to say.
You've got a lot there.
I appreciate it, Bob. So a couple different things. The things that I'm citing, I did mention the home builders and the realtors, but the statistics that I'm citing come from the Joint Commission on Taxation, which is a bipartisan commission. They're the official scorekeeper in Congress that looked at this bill, and the one that came out last night that said this is not going to create the economic growth that is being projected, and
which
it's going to add $1 trillion
sending
to the deficit.
shockwaves through the Senate right now.
Correct. That's why you have the two Republican senators rethinking their position.
Yeah.
The other study I've cited about the tax increases comes from the Congressional Budget Office. These are not lobbyists. These are the official scorekeepers who are there to look at these proposals and give independent analysis as to the cost impact to the American people. Those are the numbers that I'm citing. Now, doubling the standard deduction if you're a single filer going from 6 to 12 or 12 to 24 for married filing jointly, when you take everything into account, especially if you're taking away personal exemptions, which if you're a family of 4, you have 2 kids, you also take those personal exemptions, your tax liability goes above that $24,000 number, so you're going to be paying more in taxes. I'm not saying, again, let me be very clear, there are many people who are going to see a tax cut under this plan.
Is he right when he says 80%? 80% of the middle class?
I can't say the numbers.
Okay.
I've seen different numbers all over the place, but
Yeah.
many people will see a tax cut. However, there are many folks earning $75,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $150,000 a year who will see a tax increase.
If you're paying $50,000, if you're making $50,000 a year or $75,000 a year, you're paying taxes.
You're paying taxes. You're paying taxes.
You probably can get your way through and get a lot of that back,
Sure.
but you're
paying taxes,
and you're probably a lower, depending on the size of your family, you're lower income at that point for lower middle class.
But you're also looking. We're not looking at the big picture, which is taking away the personal exemptions, taking away the ability to deduct state and local taxes. If you're a student if maybe you're a new homeowner, you're married, you just got out of college or graduate school, you're no longer going to be able to deduct your student loan interest debt. If you have a sick child at home and you're deducting your medical expenses that you're paying for, you're no longer going to be able to do that under this tax plan. I want to see a tax cut for everybody in the middle class. Everyone making $50,000, $75,000, $100,000. I don't want to see a tax cut for a guy making $5 billion a year, or Walmart, or Home Depot, or some of these corporations that have record profits. They don't need a tax cut right now, and that's what we're missing here. Is that they're all benefiting under this plan, and we're all sitting here fighting amongst ourselves, saying, "Well, I'm getting a tax cut, but you're not. So who cares?" We should all be getting a tax cut in this area because everyone in this area needs one.
I'm not sure we're in a we society today.
We're definitely not in a we society. We're definitely in a me society.
Yeah,
Look, I respect that. If you're getting a tax cut under this plan, God bless you.
Right.
Many people are not getting, many neighbors of yours are not getting a tax increase. That's all I'm saying is let's go back to the drawing board and make sure everyone in this region is benefiting, not just folks down on K Street or Wall Street. Look, there's a reason, and I'll say it, there's a reason if you look at the people that are supporting my campaign, not to get too political, but if you look at the individuals who have supported my campaign versus who's on my opponent's list of donors. Her list of donors are the Wall Street people, the hedge fund managers, the big financial institutions, because they know with her sitting on that financial services committee, which is a very powerful committee that regulates all those banks, the system's going to continue to be rigged in their favor. And that's what they're getting under this tax bill. And a lot of people are being left with nothing. Many seniors, many people who are relying on Medicare or Medicaid. I was down in Tioga 2 days ago. Guy comes up to me and says, "I'm here supporting you. I have a son, he's 19 years old, okay? He has a rare immune deficiency. He's on Medicaid expansion. He works at Wegmans, doesn't get health insurance. He's on Medicaid expansion. He's got to receive these insulin infusions every so often because he gets pneumonia 4 or 5 times a year. He's going to lose that under this tax bill, under the health care bill, and that's what people are scared of. They're scared of their expenses going up. They're scared of their health care costs going up, prescription drug costs, and people in Washington not fighting for them. They're fighting for special interests, and we need people to stand up for people here.
Okay, 315-736-0186. If anybody wants to pipe in before we let Anthony go. Rob has this to say. Hold on. Here we go. I'm with Claudia on this issue. He needs to stop listening to National Democrats and continue to do what he's been doing in his state role, leaning to the swamp. And I, before you respond to that, 2 weeks ago, I said on the air, I fear the National Democratic Party is going to come in and try to push you to the left because they don't know this district as well as I believe they should. And I only base that on commercials that I saw in the last election. I really wonder where they were coming from because those commercials didn't work here. But the beauty of you, to me, has been the fact that you're moderate, the fact that you're a Democrat, but I know you support the Second Amendment and other issues that really support the district, not necessarily the party. So I'm with Rob in the way that I'm saying, I hope you don't fall victim to the National Party.
Look, I got into the school board because I thought I could help. I ran for the assembly because I thought I could help. I don't give a hoot about the National Democratic Party. I don't give a hoot about the National Republican Party. When I feel passionate about an issue, whether it's the Second Amendment and voting against the SAFE Act, despite a governor of my own party telling me to vote for it, or voting against a public education budget that I thought was detrimental, put more testing requirements on students and teachers in the classroom, despite the leaders of my party telling me we need your vote on this bill, I voted against it. I stood up and held a state of the state against a Democratic governor who was ignoring this area, and I called them out publicly. I will do the same thing in Washington. I'll make no bones about it. I don't answer to party leaders. That's never been a part of what I've done in my role as an elected official. I won't do it in Washington. I haven't done it in Albany, and they can try and paint me as a national Democrat and everything else.
No,
the bottom line
you're
is,
going to be
I know it's
attached
coming.
to Pelosi.
I know it's coming, and believe me, I'm well prepared for it. But people, I think, know me. I'm not afraid to stand up. I have many Republicans who come up to me all the time and say, look, we don't agree with you all the time, but we know that you're someone who cares about this area, who stands for what he believes in, and is not afraid to stand up against your own party. I'll do the same thing in Washington, and if it gets me run out of office, fine, so be it. But I want to try and help this area. I want to try and help this country, which I see a lot of folks on both sides. I get just as uncomfortable among the extreme left of my party as I do among the extreme right of the Republican Party. There's no room for either of them in my mind. We need more people in the middle who can actually get things done in this country. We don't have that right now in Congress. We have both extremes who don't want to talk to each other. We need to elect more people who are in the middle, who are willing to sit down and compromise with each other, because that's been the history of this country, not what we see right now.
All right, Anthony Brindisi. The 10-minute interview turned into about an hour and a half. So I appreciate that, but we have to play commercials now.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Anthony
Those corporate
Brindisi.
interests, you got to pay.
Hey, listen,
You got that right.
we are the third largest radio company in America, and it's all corporate, right? All right, hold tight. Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the time.